Hello, everyone. Welcome back to 4th and Inches. Please, if you have not done so already, like and subscribe this video. The subscription will allow you to not miss any of my content all off season long, and it is also the best way to help me out and this channel. So we have a new video coming today. It's the first time I've done a sell high video, and we have 3 wide receivers in particular we're going to be talking about today. If you have them on your dynasty rosters, I would be looking to sell, and this is just given this time of year. So we just finished Easter weekend. It is Monday, April 1st, and these are 3 guys this time of year. If I can sell high, I will probably take that opportunity. I will tell you why. If you're watching this video in some weeks, some months, situations may have changed. This is pre-NFL draft as well. But I'm going to go ahead and take you through my 3 wide receivers that I am looking to sell right now. First and foremost, Mr. Quentin Johnston. He is a wide receiver for the Los Angeles Chargers. And I want to take a second here to actually just break down this situation. So let's go ahead and first rewind to 2023, where Quentin Johnston was selected in the first round of the NFL draft by the Chargers. He was the second wide receiver off the board. That's crucial. I'll get to that in a second. But selected there. Now, the thought process was this. Okay, now obviously the coaching regime has changed there, right? They brought in Jim Harbaugh now. Kellen Moore is no longer the OC. That's Greg Roman now. And it's going to be a very run-first offense in 2024. However, if we go back to 2023, here was the thought process. Can we add in another weapon for Justin Herbert? Right? We got Keenan Allen, who's aging out. He's been very, very good his whole career there. 31 years of age. But can the guy stay healthy? He actually had a really good year. Ironically, Mike Williams is the one that goes down early on. Also a guy with a long injury history. Also a guy a bit older, I believe age 30 now. And when you know it, he goes down week 4, week 5, something like that, and is out for the year. Okay? Well, then it's Josh Palmer's time, if you recall. So a receiver that's been on this team for a couple of years and was in the 3rd year of his rookie deal. He is now in the 2024 season, going to be in the 4th and final year of his rookie deal. Josh Palmer is a name I actually like compared to Quentin Johnston, and I'll explain why to that as well. So Josh Palmer comes in. Josh Palmer gets hurt as well. Okay, they haven't really had Jalen Guyton anymore. So this wide receiver room rather quickly just kind of got torn to shreds. You know, it's just Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnston. No Josh Palmer, no Mike Williams. Darius Davis they drafted, but he was mainly just used for special teams, punt returning, things like that. And then Eckler was just not Eckler anymore, right? He didn't command the targets or the volume he usually commands. He lost a ton of efficiency. So all that to be said, the way the cards fell, the way the chips fell, Quentin Johnston should have succeeded last year. He should have had some more success. He should have had more glimpses of, oh, wow, like this guy can be something, right? Similar to, in some ways, thought process, a Jordan Addison, which we'll talk about here in a bit. But Quentin Johnston didn't find any success, guys. He had the opportunities. You know, Herbert was looking to get him the ball. They were looking for this guy to take that big step forward and help this team, you know, have a much better back half of the year than it did in the front half. And the guy couldn't do it. I mean, we're talking wide open 9-ball for a touchdown, dropping it. Some sideline basket catches he should have had, not creating the separation they wanted, getting some things in the route tree wrong at times. And so this is unfortunately that, hey, he's not refined. He's a phenomenal athlete at a TCU, and maybe they're hoping they can develop him and turn him into something. From a fantasy perspective, it's different. NFL perspective, maybe, but after a year 1 like that, given the situation, given the circumstances, and then now Greg Roman coming in, Harbaugh coming in, it being a run-first offense, them focused on being bullies at the line, changing the way they're going to operate. Keenan Allen gets traded to Chicago for a 4th-round pick. Mike Williams gets released, goes and signs with the Jets. This wide receiver room right now is literally Quentin Johnston and Joshua Palmer. Now, is it possible to add someone at pick 5 in the NFL draft? They might trade back, try to accumulate some more picks, which would be very smart for this team right now. It's possible, you know, but if they did add in a Malik Neighbors. If Marvin Harrison Jr. did fall to 5 because 4 quarterbacks go and Arizona trades out, like, you have a lot of reason to be concerned about Quentin Johnston. And so that's why I'm saying the window, I believe, is now. There are some Quentin Johnston truthers out there. There are some people that say, hey, like, people are seeing the path for him to get more work, get more volume in 2023 or 2024, potentially be that year 2 breakout. I'm not placing my bet there. Okay. A couple months ago, Quentin Johnston was worth nothing. You couldn't get a 3rd round rookie pick for him if you were lucky. Like, now, I think you can get a bit more, right? If you're getting a late first of any kind, smash accept. But if you can get a player in a second, or an early 2nd round pick for the guy, I'm probably going to take it now. I'm probably going to take it. And it's just where it gets worse for the Chargers. They pick Quentin Johnston at 21 right after Seattle picks. Seattle picked at 20. They took Jackson Smith and Jigba. Unfortunately, not a guy that's worked out. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt of year 1 situation. But unfortunately, Ty Lockett and DK Metcalf look like they're both back. So Quentin Johnston is not quite a sell yet, but he was somebody I considered for this video. But I believe in the talent still. And he's a guy I'm going to wait and see. But if year 2 looks anything like year 1, you're probably going to want to be out on JSN too, unfortunately, from a fantasy perspective. Now, Quentin Johnston goes at pick 21 last year in the 23 NFL draft. Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison are still on the board. And they go right behind him at picks 22 and 23. And that's rough. That hurts. You took the Alpha X guy, the unpolished guy, the big contested 50-50 catch guy, who I don't want. Guys, if you're preparing for your 2024 rookie mock drafts, stay away from the contested catch guys. Stay away from the 50-50 ball guys. I don't want that. I want an elite separator. I want a guy with a great route tree, right? I want a guy that can create separation and get passes thrown to him over the middle. I don't want just the go route 9-ball 50-50 guy. That's why Keon Coleman is a guy I'm very low on in this year's draft, right? He's this year's Quentin Johnston. He's the year before Treylon Burks, potentially, right? And so those are guys I'm just completely avoiding. Quentin Johnston is going in Superflex Dynasty drafts. He's got an ADP of 112 right now. I'm just not taking him. I'm never taking him there. It's insane to me that he's at 112, going around guys like Hollywood Brown, DJ Moore, DeAndre Hopkins, Jacoby Myers, Mike Williams. Like, I'd prefer most of them over Quentin Johnston at this point. However, his teammate, this is a quick ad. Josh Palmer, I think, sneaky value in startup drafts right now. If he's on any of your waivers, go find him. But Joshua Palmer will be perceived as the 2 on this team, and he'll definitely be the 1. But he's got an ADP of 170. So he's going a full 4, 5, 6 rounds later, depending on your league size. And that's going to be a value I prefer. And I think he'll potentially outproduce Quentin Johnston this year. So on Josh Palmer, definitely out on Quentin Johnston. All right, moving on to the second wide receiver today. A little bit more of a hot take. Some of you guys are going to hate this one, but hear me out. And again, the difference between I'm out on someone and I would prefer to sell them right now, given the scenario is also a little different. I would say that this particular player is the latter. I see an opportunity to sell here, and I think I would. I don't have any stock in this player left in any of my leagues, if that gives you any inclination, but we're talking about DJ Moore of the Chicago Bears. And all things are pointing Chicago has a chance to not suck this year. I hear you. DJ Moore finished as the wide receiver 6 last year in PPR. But if you look at him from an efficiency standpoint, if you look at him from a points per game standpoint, much less efficient, right? Very high low. We had the big, 48, 49 point game, which is also inflating his year. You pull that out and he's in the teens, and it just, the whole situation changes a bit. Okay. Yes, he had Justin Fields, a very terrible pocket passer. I understand. Caleb Williams, definitely an upgrade. I understand. I'm going purely historical data and as well as his ADP. Okay. ADP right now in Sleeper, DJ Moore in Superflex PPR is being drafted at ADP of 37. Okay. That's pretty high for a guy who was that inefficient last year, right? Now, we know he's a great player, but situation and quarterback play have always been a concern. Okay. Now, if Kirk Cousins went and signed to the Bears instead of them having the number 1 pick, I'm probably in on DJ Moore. I'm in on a tacticianer type quarterback like Kirk Cousins, a guy who's incredibly accurate, by the way. But rookie quarterbacks make mistakes. Rookie quarterbacks force the ball. Like, I think there's going to be some Caleb Williams growth needed. But here's the bottom line. What rookie quarterbacks have generated more than one relevant wide receiver in fantasy? And the reason why I'm saying more than one is look at this team now. Okay, they brought in DeAndre Swift at running back. He's going to command some volume. He's going to command some targets. If they're smart, they'll use him in the passing offense. Cole Kmet is a very comparable tight end. Like, he's good. He can catch the ball, especially in the red zone. A lot of red zone touchdowns. They bring in Keenan Allen. Oh, by the way, they still have pick 9, where they could go and draft potentially a Romo Dunze. I think they should go right tackle and complement Darnell Wright, who they drafted at left tackle last year. That's what I would do. But they could bring in somebody else too. I think Keenan Allen has a safer floor combination out of the two. I'm a little bit more in on Keenan, and his ADP is 94. So much more something I can get behind. Obviously, he's 31 years old, but the guy gets separation. He gets quick routes, quick slants over the field, quick drags underneath. Like, Caleb's going to be able to find him and not have to take the time for plays to develop to hit DJ Moore on the long ball or things like that. So what I'm saying, though, is this. A lot of people are buying into this Bears hype. Caleb Williams, the improvements they've been making. They brought in DeAndre Swift. They brought in Keenan Allen. Like, yeah, it's a situation where a rookie quarterback could and should succeed versus what the normal number 1 pick walks into, right? AKA Bryce Young last year. No weapons, mediocre scheme, mediocre offensive line, new coaching regime already, like, just not what you want. I don't think that'll be the case for Caleb Williams. However, there's only been one quarterback of recent that was a rookie to generate more than one relevant fantasy option. And it was last year, and it was CJ Stroud. And the season we had from Nico Collins and Tank Dell, obviously up until Tank Dell got hurt. But there was a large part of the season that had already come and gone all the way up to like week 10, 11, 12, I think, before Tank Dell got hurt. And, Tank Dell was at like wide receiver 15. Nico Collins was at like 10. And that is incredible, right? CJ Stroud is just looking like this superb talent. And, and that was a miss for Carolina. But the point is that doesn't happen very often. Okay, everyone wants to place their bet on the Stroud. Caleb Williams might come in and be Trevor Lawrence. He might come in and be Baker Mayfield. Like, we can't guarantee anything. And yes, some situations are looking up, but they want him to spread the ball out, right? Like, they want to run the ball. Like, they still have Roshan and Khalil Herbert on the team, I believe. So I am out on DJ Moore at this ADP. I will never be taking him around 37. And if you can get something for him right now on the hype, first round pick, maybe a second and some combos or some other assets, like I'll probably be looking to move him if you had the opportunity right now. All right, moving on to the third and final wide receiver. I did mention him earlier, ironically, but it is actually Mr. Jordan Addison, wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings, arguably the 2 or 3 in this team's fantasy options. 2 for a while with Hawkinson being hurt, but he will be back, and he will be a prominent part of this offense. Obviously, Jeddah's the number 1 there, but what really changes here is 2 things. Did he have a great rookie season last year? Yes, he did. I'm not going to take that away from him. But it was also a very touchdown-dependent season. Jordan Addison had 10 receiving touchdowns last year. That's not going to happen, right? We know touchdowns are the most volatile metric in fantasy football. I'm not going to bank on Jordan Addison getting more catches, more yardage than last year, being the potentially number 3 in this offense. I don't think 10 touchdowns or more is likely. I think it's probably less, right? You know, he could have 70 catches, 800 yards, and 4 touchdowns next year easily. And because of that, I can't take a guy like him at an ADP of 52. I can't. He's going around people like Rashee Rice. He's going around people like DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, even in their age, Deebo Samuel, all number ones in their offense. Yes, I understand he's young. Yes, I understand he's coming off a great rookie season. I can't take him there. Okay, now what's the other big factor here? Kirk Cousins was running this offense. One of the most accurate quarterbacks there is. Tacticianer, right? I was just mentioning him earlier. They have now brought in Sam Darnold. 1-year deal with some pretty good money, assuming he's going to be a bridge, right? They've been making some moves in the draft. It seems very likely they make a move to go get a quarterback at 4 or 5 or 6 or something like that, a JJ McCarthy, whatever, and take the smart route, which is like a Pat Mahomes, Jordan Love route, where you draft him and you sit him as long as you can. You know, if Darnold can get you through a year and the team can compete, great. What you don't really want to have is JJ McCarthy starting right away, or, you know, is he coming in at week 6, week 8? Ideally, if you can sit the guy and develop him, that's going to be even better for the franchise. But point being, Sam Darnold's going to be, at least for a while, throwing the rock to Jordan Addison. Sam Darnold, as you guys know, is one of the most inaccurate quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. Yes, has he gotten better? Sure. Yes, will he have great coaching? Sure. Yes, has he developed a little bit more from leaving the Niners? Potentially. And will he be there with Kevin O'Connell? Yes. But guys, Aaron Jones is also a running back on this team now who will command volume, command some targets. I mean, he's not bell cow, but he'll command some passes in the offense. Sam Darnold's a guy that's going to crack under pressure and want to check it down and dump it. And Hawkinson will be coming back. And he has a lot of those little check down routes and things like that. And I think Jordan Addison is going to be a guy that's frustrated about how much the ball is getting thrown to him. Or when it is thrown to him, is it an accurate, catchable pass? Or the most important one is yak, right? His yak stats. Okay, he had some decent yards after the catch last year. Well, that can happen. Yak is just as much a quarterback stat as it is a receiver stat. If a quarterback can hit someone in stride and they don't have to lose any pacing or momentum and they catch the ball on the run, turn it upfield, make a move, make a defender miss, like, yeah, yards after the catch is also a QB stat. Because if I underthrow the ball, I throw it behind him, they have to stop, come back for it. Like Tyreek, so many times, how many times do we have to see him come back to an underthrown ball from Tua and still catch it? If we hit these guys in stride, yeah, they'll be more productive. Sam Darnold's not going to hit Jordan Addison as often or as accurately as Kirk Cousins did. And for those reasons, I'm out. I think there's a lot of hype on him. And I think you can sell him for more than he's going to be worth in 2024. So if you have the opportunity, take it. Anyways, those are the 3 wide receivers that I would be selling if I had the opportunity right now. Let me know what you guys think on those 3 takes. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I always love to get some conversation going in the comments. I will reply back to you. And lastly, guys, thank you for being here. Best way to help out the channel is to subscribe and like this video. I appreciate it. And more to come. Thanks for tuning in to 4th and Inches. Take care.